Welcome back to 36 Sports. Today, we have a great last show for you all today talking about hockey. I'm Izzy Mackey alongside Chase Brosen, Emma Pilson, and Chloe Murphy. So, to get started, the NHL playoffs are still surging forward, and some of the first round matchups have already concluded. With Florida advancing over Tampa Bay and Carolina and Washington set up to square off in the second round. What do you guys think about the first round games that have already concluded? And do you think any of the advancing teams have the best shot to win the cup? I'll start with whoever
I'd
wants to
say,
start.
I like all the teams that already advanced, the Hurricanes, Capitals, and Panthers. They all look really strong. I could see either one of those teams going to the Cup for their respective conference. And on the Western side of the conference, or the Western Conference, it's looking really solid. Every single game is 2-2 after the first four games, which should make for an exciting game 6 and 7. I'm excited to see which teams can pull it out. But I definitely think that the Hurricanes and Capitals, along with the Panthers, look the best. And if I had to pick a team right now, I'd say the Panthers are going to win it all.
Yeah, I definitely would agree. The Panthers look really strong. They did have like a bit of penalty issues with, I can't remember who it was, but one player in particular, I think it was Ekblad, he like injured Hagel. And that was like a whole thing going on in the series. So they're definitely a very aggressive team as well, which is, we're definitely going to see that continue as they go towards the Cup. I think the Canes, honestly, like, I don't think they're going to go past the second round. Like, they did play well, but again, the Devils weren't that strong this year, unfortunately, because they had a lot of injury issues. A lot of their top players were missing from the lineup. And yeah, definitely on the West Coast, it's going to be very tight, which doesn't usually happen. I would say like the East is a lot stronger usually, and it's like those games end up being closer, but the West this year has been a lot harder to decide. So
yeah, I really like the Caps and the Habs series. I feel like that just really showed how dominant of a team the Caps are, and I could see them going super far. I feel like the Hurricanes, they had an easy matchup the first round. I don't see them getting past the second, or maybe past the second, probably going to end in the third. But I definitely see the Caps going all the way. Tampa and Florida, that was a really good series. I think Florida might end up going far. I would hate to see that because I don't like a repeat, but I think Florida might end up going really far out of that.
Yeah, and I wanted to add with the Capitals, they look very aggressive and physical, and that helps in playoff hockey. You want to be the most aggressive team on the ice, and that's going to help them go far. You just, if you turn on any of the games, you could see how aggressively they're hitting people and just sliding down the ice like they're in a hurry. So I think they have the right intensity going into the playoffs, and it should carry them far, especially with a leader like Ovechkin behind them.
Yeah, I think so. And especially, I forget who was game 3 or 4, where that bench clearing fight with Tom Wilson and Anderson. And yeah, seeing that, I'm like, that's what playoff hockey is about. I love to see that. And so hopefully they'll carry a lot of that into, especially, we know Tom Wilson will, but carry that into the next series.
Definitely.
I think the Capitals they have a lot of veterans, and I think they're hungry to win something. So I think it's good that they have that. What do you guys think about the Dallas Stars and Vegas Knights series? How do you guys feel about that?
I really like Vegas in that series. I think Jack Eichel, for sure, he does still need to step up his offensive game, but it also shows that team has a lot of depth because he's been such a dominant player for them for years. But even without his presence as much, they're still staying in the games and just really dominating over Dallas, even though the series obviously is tied. So it's still close, but I do like Vegas.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's a tied series. It might be cliche to say, but this series, you really just can't pick a team. It seems to be going back and forth. And I have a hard time deciding or differentiating between the two teams who's going to win because they both seem so evenly matched. I can't really pick.
Yeah. Right. I think so I really have been watching The Wild. I like seeing Matt Boldy and Kirill Kaprizov just work together so well, and I think they put up a really good fight against the Knights, considering how good they are. But yeah, I like the way that series has gone.
All right, I was sorry. It's Stars versus Avalanche. Sorry, I was just reading my notes. Sorry, but yeah, I was watching the Stars and Avalanche game the other night, and it was just so funny because the series is so close. But the one game I watched, they dominated the second period. It was they kind of came back. Avalanche or whatever, and then right immediately Dallas answered immediately with 3 goals, and it was okay, that series over. But then it's back and forth.
That series has been the most back and forth.
Yes.
It's insane. And then two of the games in a row, games 2 and 3, I'm pretty sure both went into overtime. Like, it's so back and forth, and I think that's so exciting, like, to watch. So
Especially with
really
the
like
home
that.
crowds. I love when it's at the home crowds, especially I think that game was at Dallas. So everybody was like waving their pom-poms and
Yeah.
everything. And it's so fun. It's like really like what playoff hockey is about.
Yeah,
It's very
exactly.
energetic and stuff like that. So moving on, the Maple Leafs are on the ropes. And after giving up 3-0 to Ottawa, Ottawa has stormed back and are in a win away from evening the series to a 3-piece. What do you guys think each team has to do to come out on top and win this series?
I mean, first of all, it's just you can't have the Maple Leafs do this again. I feel like they choked in the playoffs too many times for this to happen to them. I really want them to win this series, but the fear is starting to creep in. Are they actually going to pull the series out? But I think that Toronto just needs to relax and play their game. They can't let these past playoff struggles get to their heads because it's really a psychological thing. They know they're the better team out there. They proved that for 3 games. They just need to go out there and do it again. And as for Ottawa, they just need to keep doing what they're doing and be the more physical team and try to get in the heads of the Maple Leafs. Like, let that fear control the Maple Leafs and then use that to their advantage.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think obviously there's a lot of playoff demons when it comes to the Leafs, especially in game 5, 6, and 7, because usually they start the series off pretty strong or pretty even. And then they get to like the second half or the end of the series and they kind of collapse and they start going back to these old bad habits. Because I was watching the other game last night or a couple nights ago, and I just noticed they were making very sloppy plays and they weren't connecting on the power play. And the power play has been something they were extremely dominant, especially in the first half of the series. So I think, yeah, they just got to understand why they're in the playoffs, why they're the top seed, and just get it done tonight. And for Ottawa, they need to stay out of the box and stay disciplined, because that's definitely been an issue I've noticed for like specifically Ridley Gregg. He tends to do these like very sloppy penalties that just really shouldn't happen when you're playing playoff hockey.
Yeah, I think for the Leafs, it's really to just get out of their heads and keep the offense going. The first game they had 6 goals, and then every game since then they haven't been able to pass 3 goals, which like putting up 3 goals a game isn't bad, but it's not good enough to win them like the past 3 games, obviously. And then I think for the Senators, Brady Tkachuk and Dylan Cousins, they need to step up and perform and do what they're supposed to do. And I would love for the Leafs to go on. But honestly, I think it would be really cool to see the Senators, especially because they have Giroux now. And I love Giroux since he was a Flyer. So I think that would be really cool to see him go on, even if they don't go really far.
Yeah, I think as a Flyers fan, I think it's kind of like we know they're not going to go anywhere. So it's nice to see our old players do well. It's like, okay, it's like a piece of us.
Exactly.
Like, okay, yay for you, I guess. But yeah, I think the Toronto Maple Leafs, I think they really just need to stay composed under pressure right now. I think they maybe got a little too comfortable. I don't know. They have been historically bad, as you said, in playoffs. So I think if they just can stay composed and stay under pressure and, like you said, remember the team they are and remember how to play and get back into their groove, I think they can win. But the Ottawa, Senators, they have so much momentum now. Like, you just gave them so much momentum. They went up. They just won the last 2 games, and I think they had a shutout, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like that's just like the momentum you're giving them. It's too much, and I think their goaltending is pretty strong too. And his performance in Game 5 was really good with 27 saves for his first career shutout in the playoffs, which is like great. So I think it's kind of like what team wants it more, and right now it kind of seems like the Senators. It's like they switch the momentum off with each other. So yeah, I think.
I think once the Leafs get over this hump, if they get over the hump and win these games, they could be a serious contender for the Stanley Cup. They could obviously make it. They showed in the regular season that they're a great team. They kind of just need to get over this playoff losing streak.
Okay, right. I agree with you. There's still more hockey to be played in this first round. Do you guys think there's any other matchups in particular that you wanted to talk about, or?
I mean, we already highlighted the Dallas Stars versus the Avalanche. There's both very even teams, and Dallas is playing well without some of their key players, which is amazing to see. And I really like Dallas going into this series, and I think they can pull it off. It'd be amazing if they could, with all the injuries that they've been dealing with. But Colorado just got their captain back, Gabriel. How do you say it?
Landeskog.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm bad with names, but he's been out after missing about 3 seasons with a back injury. Having him back in the game, it adds a real fire to your team, and that could carry a lot of momentum for them.
That's true.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I also I really do like Colorado. They have a lot of players that I've always liked watching, like McKinnon, McCarr, and just seeing Landeskog come back, like that was a very special moment for them. And also he got a goal too. So I feel like just maybe it would be nice for them to go on to the second round and he gets more opportunity to actually play since he's been out for so long. But Dallas definitely looks really strong. And obviously their environment in Dallas is like crazy during the playoffs. So if they're able to feed off of that, I think they'll
Yeah,
get through.
seeing the arena at Dallas, it's like so awesome. Like I would love to be a part of that. And especially I want to talk about Anger because he has a .914 save percentage so far in the playoffs, and he's just been performing so well for them. And I don't like the Stars that much, but I love to see him doing well. So that was really cool to see.
I think Dallas needs a good sports team. So
Yeah.
I think everybody's like, we finally
Seriously.
have a team that's like good and not like messing up right now. Whether it's like their office or like the team, they're like, finally we have something. But yeah, I think the Winnipeg Jets, I think a team that we haven't really spoke about yet is the Jets versus the St. Louis Blues. I think that's been a really close game. Right now the Jets are leading 3-2 against the Blues. So that's really that. And they also, the Jets have shown resilience because they lost their key player, Mark Scheifele, is that how you say it? To an injury. So I think that's a cool game because it's really close and that's game 7 and I love a game 7 game. So
I did not expect the Jets to be in this situation at all. Like I saw in our last show, I picked the Jets to win the cup, and now seeing this first round, I'm like, I don't think that's gonna happen. The Blues have put up a good fight against them, and I do think they are gonna go on to the second round, but the Blues have impressed me so far, to be honest.
And if one of those teams, if the Blues or the Jets were to advance to the second round, could you see either one of those teams advancing to the Cup, or do you think they'll get eliminated next round?
I think the Jets are gone either like the second or the third round, to be honest. The Blues probably would not make it past the second round. That's
yeah.
Yeah.
I think when you have a close game like this against two, as this is the final NHL show of the semester, it's time for us to give our last Stanley Cup winner. So let's head to the board and let's each give our pick for who we think will take home the hardware. Emma, we're going to start with you.
All right. So for my pick to win the Stanley Cup, I chose Dallas. I just think this team has a lot of depth, and their whole lineup is performing, and that's really what you need to win a Stanley Cup. You can't just rely on one or two stars to take you all the way to the Cup. So I think that would be really cool to see them go all the way to the Cup. And yeah, I probably wouldn't pick Dallas in any other sports circumstance, but for this one, I hope they go.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, I would never pick Dallas
No,
or anything else, but
time.
it's cool to see them do good.
Yeah, I like seeing this, like, a good team effort. Like, that's what I like to see. So, yeah.
Chase, you're up
All
next.
right, gotcha. All right, I know this might upset some people. It might upset some people from up north in Canada and northern New York, but hockey does run through Florida. We've seen this with the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Florida Panthers, I'm calling it now, are going to go back-to-back. We saw what they did last year. They have the playoff experience. They have the players. They have the adversity on their side. And I really could just see them going all the way. And I hate to say it, but they're going to go back-to-back, and they could even three-peat.
Boo.
I don't like Florida.
And I just don't like Florida, yeah.
I hate repeats.
And now they have Marchand, and I don't like him even more.
Yeah, like I don't want to see him win after just dipping on his team.
No,
like, I'm sorry, but
And I'm saying, I think it's pretty cool that a state like Florida has such good like hockey teams. Like in recent history with the Lightning and the Panthers, like I feel like it'd be hard to even recruit a player, or not recruit, like in free agency, get a player to come to play in Florida as someone in the National Hockey League. I just feel like it's very strange. But
yeah, that's a good point.
They get the talent.
Yeah, I remember seeing their parade though, and it was like there was like 5 people there.
I just also
might
feel
not be
like
a
they're
hockey
kind of
fan.
a dirty team,
Yeah,
honestly.
That's true, yeah.
But
I don't know. I'm like,
Yeah.
you guys
Let's
are
keep the cup up north.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Down.
Like,
Actually, I just picked Dallas, so.
Okay, Chloe, you're up next.
okay, for my pick, I did Vegas. I honestly didn't know who to pick, and I don't like putting my team out there. I just like letting it happen. But Vegas has looked really good on the West, and I was talking about it before, but the West series looked very competitive this year, which is definitely a shift from last season. And Vegas is a team too. I just like their whole depth as a team. They're able to all compete very well together, even without their star offensive players. Like Jack Eichel hasn't been performing as well lately, but they're still being able to step up and play well against the Wild, which do have some very good offensive talent. So I think they could go far and maybe take the cup this year.
I wouldn't hate to see that. I feel like that.
No,
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool to see them win, especially since they're still a young franchise. How long have they been
Mhm.
around? Like 10 years?
Only not
No,
even.
like-
Not even.
It's like
Yeah.
wait, it was in
5?
2017.
6?
So
So
I
like
can't
eight,
do
that.
eight. Okay.
But
They
So,
already
yeah,
won.
but
They
such
already-
a new franchise.
yeah.
It's cool
yeah,
to
they've
see.
already won. Yeah, it's been cool to see.
So yeah. I'm last, so I'll go. My pick will have to be the Washington Capitals. My roommate's a big Washington Capitals fan. She's from Baltimore, so she was really happy when I told her this was my pick. But I just feel like they have Ovechkin. He might be retiring, and I think it's kind of like, I don't know. I think when hockey teams have this kind of passion that for their team, especially when they're led by veterans like Ovi, I really think that they can make it far. I think their goaltending has been great. I think their defense is strong, and I think it can take them a long way. And then I think their offense is also really on fire and is good. Their last game that closed out their last series was really great, and I just think I can see them making it really far. And I think they're due in time for a Stanley Cup win. So that's my pick.
Yeah, I can definitely see them going far. And yeah, literally just like the fact that the season that Ovi's had, I think
Yeah,
this
you're
would
good.
really be like the cherry on top to just
Exactly.
like finish off a really great season for the entire team. And yeah, I think him reaching that big milestone has been like what's like
Right. It's
gotten
like a
them going.
storytell.
And
I feel like it's a
yeah,
storytell ending.
Exactly.
And I feel like it would be really good for like hockey. And like I feel like ESPN would eat it up. They'd be
Oh
like,
my
oh
gosh,
my
we're
God,
definitely
like,
getting a documentary. about
right,
them
that's
if
what I'm
they
saying. And
win.
I would eat it up too. I think
Yeah.
it'd be really special. So I'm excited to see how they go. I think if they get over this last hump, like this game they're coming up
Mhm.
next with, I think Hurricanes, right?
Yes.
Okay, I think if they beat them, I think
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're good. You got to keep the momentum going. And I think they have
Exactly.
great momentum right now. So I'm
Mhm.
excited to see how they do. So there's also, oh wait, NFL trivia. So NHL trivia. Sorry. Okay, so we're going to be X3 NHL trivia questions and we're going to see how well we do on them.
I'm nervous.
What team holds the longest undefeated streak in the NHL history?
Wait, like just like
Wait, is
in
this
Not
like in
general, and, like
games?
or is in a
Like-
season?
Probably just in a season, like how many games straight you've won. I'd say
I
I
think
don't know.
it's
Who's been
Winnipeg.
who's been
it's
around like the
Winnipeg.
longest?
Didn't
Could it be
Winnipeg just
Winnipeg?
break it?
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
think you're
god!
right.
Wait, yeah, I think you're right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Or they are at least. I know
or they
they're
were, like, close to
Yeah.
it was
it.
super close.
We can
Yeah.
say Winnipeg. That's
Wait,
a
yeah,
good
I remember
guess.
seeing that. That or
Yeah.
wasn't it Edmonton last year? Didn't they have a really long
Yeah,
winning
they
streak
Yeah,
had-
there's
too?
had a good
Edmonton
run,
and then
yeah.
New Jersey had one a couple years
Okay.
ago that was pretty long.
So
Should we
Winnipeg.
go with Winnipeg?
Final
Sure.
answer.
I
Final
don't
answer.
know.
Winnipeg.
Oh my gosh.
This had to be in like the 70s. This could
Oh
not
my
be
God.
any time that we were
Wow.
alive.
The fact that the
because-
two Flyers fans are shocked, like that says
yeah,
something.
that's
'cause
crazy.
I
I don't
think
know
this-
anything. Okay, yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say that just
Yeah, I
that could not be
wasn't-
in recent history.
I don't even think my parents were born yet. So.
Yeah, no, that's
I'm trying to
crazy.
think who
Oh
would
my
have been on
gosh.
that team. Like Hextall? Was Hextall
Bobby
the goal-
Clark. I don't know if that's too
I don't
old.
even
I have
know.
no idea.
All right. What team currently holds the longest playoff drought?
Isn't it
I mean,
the
it might-
I mean, it might be,
Might be the Flyers.
again.
No,
I
it's
can
not.
s- When was the last
The
time?
Wait,
Flyers
is
were in
it
the
like
playoffs in
cup?
2010.
Cup drought?
No,
No,
it's playoffs.
Yeah,
Playoffs.
like made the playoffs.
I feel like
Okay.
It
it's
might
the
be the Flyers.
Sabres.
I feel like
Because
I feel like it's recency bias to say the Flyers just because they haven't been in there. So you kind of have to
Yeah.
like
Because
think
we
back.
were
But
okay.
the
It was
Flyers were-
2000.
I swear the Flyers
It
were
was
in
like
like the
2014, I
2000s.
swear, or it was 2010 when we lost. But
They almost made it last year. Not really.
yeah, I feel like it's the Sabres. I feel like I just read something about the Sabres.
Yeah, maybe it is the Sabres. I can't
But
remember
I
the
don't wanna
last
be the
time
one
the
to make this
Sabres were in the
decision.
playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
We're doing a split vote. Like
Oh,
you
we
guys
could do
Sabres.
that.
All right, you guys say Sabres. I'll say Flyers. Who do you have?
I guess I'll say Flyers. I don't know.
Okay.
I feel like it's recency bias to
Hopefully
say
we're-
Flyers. I don't
Yeah.
know. Let's see.
Okay, so
Oh,
this is
14
Yeah.
seasons.
14
Okay,
seasons.
so
That's
it's
crazy.
kinda-
awful.
wow,
Crazy.
Okay.
I mean, not
Yeah.
as bad as the Jets in football.
Yeah,
The
Yeah.
New York Jets.
Yeah.
So I keep just seeing graphics on them. Like it's like, okay. What team has made the most consecutive
this-
playoffs in NHL history?
Is it?
It's the Leafs.
The
I think
Leafs,
it's
Oh, wait,
is
yeah.
it?
That
It
makes
is
sense.
9
okay.
years, I think.
Yeah, I could
Okay,
see the
I'll
Leafs
trust the
and
Leafs
Penguins.
fans on
Yeah,
that
I
one.
will
think
trust
it's
the
the
I feel like you
Leafs.
would know.
I'm pretty sure they said that the other day.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
think it's the Leafs.
All right, let's see.
Oh, it's the
Bruins.
Leafs.
Bruins.
Okay.
Wow, this
Well, that
is
was also
Wow.
really. I'm
Okay.
just not good.
1968.
I mean, we went
So we
one
went
for
one
three.
for three. That's all
You
right.
guys went one for
Well,
three.
the
we
two
went
that
oh
we
for
went
three.
got
four.
wrong
Oh,
were
over three.
literally before we were born. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again,
Cut us some slack,
recency
cut us some
recency
slack.
bias. I'm gonna say again, it
yeah.
killed us. I guess. Okay. So, what are you guys' biggest disappointments this season so far?
I'm gonna have to say Tampa Bay losing. I know they lost to a good team in Florida, but it's just hard losing in 5 games to a team who's very good, but just losing in 5 games, it kind of leaves a sour taste in your mouth.
Mhm.
Mine is totally like a random pick. It's not even a playoff team, but I'm going to say the Canucks minus Quinn Hughes because Quinn Hughes is the Vancouver Canucks.
Yeah.
And if you ask anyone, everyone should agree with that. He carried that team this year, and obviously they did not have a good season. They parted with their head coach, and it's kind of sucks for them because they for so long they were kind of in that drought, and then they finally got out of it. So it was just like exciting to see them start to do better, and they have better offense. But this year it just didn't work out. They had a lot of drama going on within the team, which I think definitely affected it. But I would say that's my biggest disappointment
Yeah.
for sure.
Mhm.
It hurts to see a player work so hard, like Quinn Hughes, and do so
Mhm.
well, and just like not get it rewarded with
Yeah.
what he's
Yeah.
doing. So, I agree with you. I think that's a
Yeah.
good pick.
For my pick, I chose the New York Rangers. They went from number 1 in the Metro and made it to the second round in the playoffs last year. Mind you, in the second round, they lost to Florida, who literally won the cup. So, and then this year they ended 5th in the Metro and didn't even make the playoffs. So that was pretty disappointing. Obviously, as a Flyers fan, I'm happy about that, but it's just not what I expected from
Yeah.
them this year.
They got new management, right? Is that what happened?
I'm
not sure.
They've been
I
new
think
manager.
so,
I
or
think
a coach.
it's something.
I think they did fire
Well,
their coach.
also
I could
there's
be
the
wrong.
whole like President's Trophy curse, which always happens. I know that was
Yeah.
last year, but maybe it just carried over
Yeah,
for them.
the
and
negative
they just
energy,
didn't
it
do
follows
well.
them.
exactly.
Yeah.
It was crazy to see their like fall off. It was
Yeah.
like I felt like when the Flyers won, I was like so excited. Like when they beat them
Yeah.
like this year, I was like, oh my
It's
god,
like,
wow!
wow, we beat the Rangers.
And my friend who plays ice hockey, she's like, yeah, Izzy, this is like not impressive. I was like, okay,
Okay.
great. But my carrying on to that, my biggest disappointment. I mean, it's not really a disappointment because it's expected, but Flyers. I don't know. I felt like Torts was on John Tortorella. He was helping coach for the USA national team. So I feel like we had a great coach going into the season. I really liked him. And then we also had Michkov coming in, and we got a captain because last season we were went half a season without a captain. So I kind of felt like a little hope for this
Mhm.
team coming into the season, and then they just continued to disappoint. I thought maybe it would be different, especially since last year they got so close to making the playoffs and kind of fell off. And I just feel like they just keep coming in, bringing in these new players, and it's
Mhm.
just so unfortunate. So I'm excited to see next year to see how they do with a
Yeah.
new head coach and stuff. I know they finished out the season kind of strongish
Mhm.
with the new head coach, so I'm excited to see. But he was the interim head coach,
Yeah.
I think. So I'm excited to see how they do. But I was a little upset to lose Tortorella.
Yeah,
But-
honestly, I feel like it could be a breath of fresh air just because Tortorella has such an old coaching style. So
Exactly.
maybe it's
I
just
think
time to recycle that
I
and
think
get rid
he
of it.
benched Cam York for a little bit
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
over something. and I
Apparently,
just
there
like-
was something that went on between them,
Yeah.
like right before he got fired, that was interesting. But yeah, I don't know. That was really disappointing for me as a Flyers fan, especially because they really hyped up like Michkov coming over.
Yes,
and
that's
like
what I'm saying.
I was like, this is it. Like we're going to the
Yeah.
cup. Like this is no, obviously not. But like just to have all that excitement and build up, and especially like Jet Lachenko too. Like
Mhm.
that gave us so much excitement as fans, and then they just completely disappointed and threw it all away
Exactly.
this season.
Like,
So,
I know it's kind of a little silly to say the Flyers are a disappointment, but I did have
Yeah.
a little bit of hope.
but yeah, obviously, yeah, they really
is
gave
it
us
so
hope.
silly to have hope?
They
Yeah.
also
But
had
no.
Gautier too, I think.
yeah.
From
Mhm.
and he had an amazing.
Oh, we didn't get him.
Oh no, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Then he
didn't get
left.
him. So there's a little, but we have
So,
Jamie,
yeah.
and he's
But
better.
yeah,
So,
that is true.
but yeah, I hope Torts writes a tell-all one day about the whole thing that went down.
I want a
with that.
documentary about
Yeah.
him.
Same.
Yeah, ESPN. Let's get on
'Cause
that because that's
Gautier,
interesting.
he's not even good. So what would he even do? So,
What was
um,
your favorite moment from 360 this year?
Okay,
Favorite moment from
360.
360. I'm gonna have to say, for me, it was the March Madness show. It was kind of a last second idea, but I was on camera 1 or whatever, and our producer Colin Wells, we had an idea to have him put in his input. It was called, I think, Wells's Picks or something like that. So I had to like pan the camera over in like 2 seconds, get his face in it, and then pan it right back to get to the screen. So I thought that was very fun, and that show just won an award at the PSN TV Awards. So that had to be my favorite.
You guys showed up for
Mhm.
360. I was so excited for you
represented.
guys.
I have to go with honestly, like I don't know a lot about basketball. So like any of the basketball shows I watched, I think there was one this year with I think Kenny was on air and he was just so funny. Like that show is just so entertaining and amazing to watch. And I felt like I actually learned about basketball because honestly, if you could explain basketball to me, most people I wouldn't understand what's going on. But after watching that show, I was like, okay, wait, like I could actually get into this and start watching the sport. So I would have to say that for sure.
I was gonna say there was one basketball show that I was floor manager for, and they kept me so entertained. I think it was 4 guys. I don't remember their names, but they were so awesome, and yeah, like it kept me so entertained. And I don't even watch basketball, so that was really awesome to see. I also floor managed for the Masters show. That was really entertaining. Like I know nothing about golf, and like watching that, I like could have sat there and watched it for another 30 minutes. It was so good. They did such a good job. And yeah, that would probably be.
And
my
if I
favorite
remember, there was a pretty heated debate on the Masters show, which is I thought it was kind of funny. Like a sport like golf had such like
yeah,
a
it
heated
could get
argument
so
for it.
heated. Yeah, that was funny.
Oh my God, Harlan hosted that one, right?
Harlan did
Yeah,
that
yeah,
one. Yeah.
yeah.
She's so good. She has such good energy. I love
Yeah.
that girl. And my favorite memory from 360 Sports, it's so hard to choose because I feel like I've been here every single week, just like,
Yeah.
and I feel like I've gotten so close to everybody. But mine would probably be, it was like last semester. It was an NFL show and it was all girls. It was me, Haley Miller, Harlan Pena, and Jenna Wisman. And the energy was just so good. And I feel like the conversations were so good. I feel like everybody was just so excited to talk about it. And like, it was like so awesome to have like an NFL show with just all women. Like it just felt like so girl boss of us. That's like cringy to say, but I loved it. It was so fun. And we were all like in pink little outfits. Like it was so cute.
Yeah.
So it was fun. But that was probably one of my favorite memories. I just like have so many, and I have such a bad memory too. And it's like I have to like really go digging in there in my brain to like think of things. But I really just like had so much fun this year, and everybody's just been so great and welcoming.
So welcoming. Yeah.
So like either if I was on the camera, floor managing, doing audio, whatever, it just was like always like so fun.
Mhm.
But yeah. And you guys have any other like things or? Okay.
I'll leave some final remarks. I just want to say thank you to all the producers and people from the exec board that make this show possible, including all the seniors and juniors graduating, Colin Wells, Nick Volpe, anyone else I'm missing, Patrick. I know I'm missing a few. I'm sorry if I do, but anyone that's departing and going on to bigger and better things, thank you for what you've contributed, and we'll continue to improve this show next year, and hopefully you can tune in one day and see all the progress we made.
This show does conclude the spring semester for 360 Sports and the final show of the 2024-2025 school year. Thank you to all of our seniors for your work over the years. I know you just like went over that, but a special goodbye to our producers, Nick Volpe and Colin Wells. You guys been here since the inception of this show, and you are part of the reason why it's still alive. Good luck to all your seniors and your future endeavors. We can't wait to see what you all do. Stay tuned next semester for some more 360 Sports content. For Chase Brosen, Emma Pilson, and Chloe Murphy, I'm Izzy Mackey.